Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Soul Frequency Festival. Today, I have a really special guest, Sujantra Mckeever. He is a dedicated meditation teacher who studied with Sri Chinmoy for 27 years. He has practiced meditation for over 4 decades, sharing his profound insights with sincerity and compassion. Sujantra founded Pilgrimage of the Heart Yoga Studio in San Diego, a vibrant community space for inner peace, and he's written 5 books on spirituality and meditation, offering all his programs for free to support everyone's journey of self-discovery. His teachings, grounded in heart-centered living, inspire others to embrace mindfulness, kindness, and connection. And Sujantra's lifelong dedication continues to nurture a path of love and transformation for all. And today we are talking about manifesting your heart's desires and Sujantra's 4 simple steps to transform your life and relationships with integrity, visualization, and action. So, Sujantra, welcome.
Thank you. Good, really nice to be here. Thanks for sponsoring this event.
It's so good to have you. And let's just open this conversation up by what does it mean to manifest your heart's desires? Because there's so much out there about manifestation. And I'm a big believer in manifesting from the soul, manifesting, from somewhere higher. You talk a lot about manifestation from the heart. So could you tell us what you mean by that?
That's a great question. Well, I should start by saying that you mentioned my 27 years of studying with Sri Chinmoy, and he was a very powerful meditation teacher, and that he really put a lot of emphasis on the idea of manifestation. So he talked about our lives are like a bird with 2 wings. One wing is the wing of meditation, the quiet, the contemplation, the inner reflection. The other wing is your manifestation, what you do with that soul energy. So I love the title of your program with this, which is soul frequency. So we go into meditation, we get our soul frequency, the feeling, and then we manifest it. And so in working with him all those years, I was involved in a lot of projects related to offering meditation, putting on meditation concerts, opening vegetarian restaurants, opening my yoga studio. And I discovered that if you concentrate and focus inwardly and have a clear vision, that the world is very malleable. The world and our lives really shape to how we're thinking and how we're feeling. And so for me, that's the power of manifestation, is knowing that the world and the universe is very alive. And it's our intention, our clarity that makes things open and happen.
I completely agree. And you also have a 4 step process of finding true love and life purpose. And I know people are listening to this and the manifestation journey they've gone on may have worked for them or may not have worked for them. And you're actually giving us 4 steps that's really going to help us to manifest.
Well, a big thing about manifestation is that you align yourself with the flow of the universe. And that's what makes manifestation happen quickly, because we all have our heart's desires. You could say soul frequency is our heart's desires, but we also have like our body's desires for pleasure. We have our emotional desires. We have our mental desires. And so a lot of our desires are fueled by other people, by society. And there's so much put onto us, and there's so much in our minds of desire in the desire world, that we really need ways to hone in and figure out what's most important in our hearts, and then put our energy into manifesting those desires, or those, what Sri Chinmoy would say is aspirations, those aspirations, those deep inner felt, heartfelt longings. And so in working with him all those years and putting on these beautiful events, it really taught me the power of the manifestation, and how if you're rooted and grounded in some basic principles, then your manifestation is going to move very quickly. Because, yeah, as we all know, life is limited. I'm 63 now. I met him when I was 18, and I look back on those years, it goes by in a flash. And so we all want to really have happiness in life and have joy in life. And we don't want to lose too much time getting sidetracked by what other people think I should do, by what society thinks I should do. And so the reason I wrote one of my books that this whole program is based on, it's called Strategy for Success, is the book. The reason I wrote this book was to help people really hone in on what's most important in your heart, which usually is relating to sense of purpose in life. What's my life about? What's my purpose? And connection, which can be relationship, can be romantic relationship, business relationships, all kinds of relationships. But we really want satisfaction in those two things, purpose and connection. And so looking at my own life, I saw that if I was focused in a really integrated way or integral way, that things happen quickly. So I wrote the book and I created the process so that others could do the same thing.
Amazing. So could you talk a little, when you say, working with the flow of the universe or nature or just how things are, what is that flow?
Well, that flow is the flow of evolution. It's the flow of growth. It's the flow of love. And two of the foundations of that flow are given utmost importance in the yoga philosophy. So the yoga philosophy elucidated by Patanjali, the Yoga Sutras, talks about the importance of the yamas. And the two main yamas that I've really focused in on my life are truthfulness, satya, being truthful, and ahimsa, which is non-harming. So truthfulness and non-harming. And I think as you explore what your heartfelt desires are, if you explore where you want to put your energy in life, if you kind of self-check and connect with truthfulness and non-harming, then you're going to be able to shape your aspirations and your desires so you do get in that cosmic flow, that flow state. And what knocks us out of it is too many desires and like ill-conceived desires. Like someone tells you, oh, you're going to be really happy when you're rich. So you get that in your mind. Okay, I'm not happy right now, but I'll be happy when I have money. Money will make me happy. So it's an incorrect concept. Money itself cannot make you happy. But if we're holding that in our mind, then that's going to be a really bumpy road. We're not going to be in the flow state. Whereas if we contemplate and think that I'm happiest when I'm surrounded by people I love, but there's not too many people around me. I need more love in my life. Well, that's gonna that aspiration is now in the flow state because I'm going after creating more love in my life, more friendship, more community. So those two foundations, truthfulness and non-harming. And a big thing about the truthfulness is being honest with yourself, because that's a huge part of manifesting. I remember when I was 31 years old, one night I just was sitting in my apartment. I said, I'm lonely and I'm bored. I had done a lot of stuff in my life, and there was pleasures in my life, and there was money, but I just really had to sit with the fact that I was lonely and I was bored. I wasn't being challenged in my life. And that honesty we need too. We need honesty with ourselves, because it's in that honesty that we're going to get the fuel to make a change. So that night I sat there, I said, okay, I need to challenge myself. What's something I would love to do that I'm kind of afraid to do, or I'm a little not tenuous, but a little timid about? And it turned out to be lecturing. I realized what I really wanted to do was share meditation and talk to people about it, which meant overcoming stage fright, which meant, getting myself organized, learning marketing, things like this. But it was in that brutal honesty with myself. I'm lonely, I'm bored, I need connection. And so these principles we want to have in our with ourself and then also with the people we're around and that we're friends with. So those are two foundational principles. And then the other two aspects are active manifestation. So we're honest with ourselves, we're truthful with ourselves. And then it's about active manifestation, first on the subtle plane, which you do by meditating, doing mantras, visualizing what you want to manifest,
Mm-hmm.
which is those inner disciplines. And then it's taking action when those moments of opportunity dawn. And that takes courage when there's like a crack in the matrix. There's that moment, you got to choose this or that. It's a big moment. And what do? And that moment can be as simple as you're in line at Starbucks and you turn around and there's someone behind you who your heart just kind of wants to talk to. You've been meditating on meeting new people and bringing more joy in your life, and you turn around and your heart gets a little warm feeling when you see this specific person, and that's the moment. Do you take action? Do you say, hey, what brings you to Starbucks, or what are you going to get, or you say something to open up the matrix, to create space for that energy to come in. So visualizing things and then taking action when that golden moment dawns.
That is just, yeah, I mean, I've known a lot about manifestation, but the way you're putting it is really important because, like you mentioned, we have to go with the flow of the universe, and we are doing your 4 steps, which is honesty, non-harming, visualization, and action. And I think when you do those things, places where you've maybe felt stuck. So if we take, for example, someone might have wanted love in their life and they've done all kinds of different things, but they can now approach it in a new way using this framework and see what happens. So how can someone go about cleaning up? Say they've been
Right.
manifesting something for a long time and they just want to clean it up, they want to reset it, they want to just come back with a fresh energy.
That's a really good that's a good question. And I'm thinking of a good friend of mine who and this happened just about 3 or 4 months ago. He was mid 30s and really clear on that he wanted to be in a very loving relationship, wants to have a partner, wants to have a family. And so we were chatting, a couple of us who do a lot of meditation were chatting with him, and he was getting more into chanting and meditation.
Hmm.
And for him, the cleanup, because that's a really good word, the cleanup for him was letting go of unhealthy relationships
Hmm.
because they were um, creating confusion in his mind space. They were dragging down emotional energy in him. And when he let go of all of those relationships that weren't serving him and said, I really need to focus in on finding or connecting with that person that I'm looking for, because I know these others, he knew these other situations weren't that, but they were fulfilling desires for pleasure, desires to be needed, the thrill of, pursuing relationships, the mental or emotional highs that come with it. And so that was the cleanup for him. I think cleanup can also be honesty with oneself. I'm not happy in my career. I don't like doing what I'm doing. That's a cleanup, because it might mean saying, letting go of something. So the cleanup can be letting go and getting clear on, what that goal, what that vision looks like.
Hmm.
Letting go of what's not serving you, going into free fall, trusting the universe, and then the universe is going to respond so quickly. Because me and my friends, we were joking with our buddy saying, hey, if you really do this, 6 months from now, I guarantee you'll meet that person. And it was like 6 weeks. And I was like so excited for him, because he also was taking the outer action. He was
Hmm.
he was going to like square dancing. So healthy, interactive, where you're meeting people in a healthy environment. So that's important. If you're going into unhealthy environments to make connections, well, that's a certain energy realm. You want to be going into energy realms that link with what you want. So
Hmm.
staying in that, again, your great word, the soul frequency realm. Stay where you're going to meet soul frequency vibration people that resonate with your own highest dimension. So it's that cleanup and also letting go of other people's ideas of what's going to make Sujantra or Ashwarya happy. Our parents might think it's going to be, hey, if you do X, Y, and Z, then you'll make me happy. And by making me happy, I'm sure you'll be happy. Or what society tells us is going to make us happy or feel secure. We have to clean up that stuff. We have to let go of that and really uh, see the power in our lives and feel that.
Mm, beautiful. And before we get on to your guided meditation, taking us through the four-step process of manifesting your heart's desires, I do want to mention your free gift, which is Meditations with Sujantra on YouTube. So we'll put the link down below and
Oh,
all
great.
of your links. Do you want to quickly tell us a little bit about that meditation?
Right. So the two things I'm going to encourage people to do, because in our experience here, we're going to do a guided meditation.
Hmm.
And um, the on the YouTube channel, there's probably 30 or 40 different meditations, usually around 20 minutes, usually 10 minutes of talking, and then a 10-minute guided meditation on cultivating different qualities like happiness, joy, connecting with the universe, feeling your prana, a lot of great topics. So by going in there, you start to hone your frequency. You start to learn the meditation, learn to do some mantras, and get that in those four steps, get that inner manifestation happening. Work on your self talk, talk positively to yourself, let go of fearful thoughts.
Hmm.
I was with some friends the other day, and someone was having a hard time doing something. They were kind of struggling. And I said to my friend, I said, hey, I think we should give him a hand. And my friend said, that's probably the last thing that person wants. And in my heart, I was like, I think this person needs some help. So I said to him, I said, hey, can I give you a hand? And the person was so grateful. So the voice in my friend's head that said, that person doesn't want your help, that's negative self-talk. And so we have to learn to let go of that. And that's part of that inner manifestation.
Hmm.
And then on the YouTube channel, there's also a description of my book, Strategy for Success. And this is a book that outlines in 7 steps the way to get clear on what's deepest in your heart, your heart's desires, how to kind of push or get clear of other people's desires for you and get into your own heart's desire, how to make a plan. And so that's a nice 7-step process. And the 4 steps that we've talked about, like underlie that: honesty, integrity, visualizing, meditation. And so all of that is going to be on our YouTube channel. And then the other thing I would suggest is people on Amazon, you can buy Strategy for Success. That's the book that pertains to this.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Sujantra, for being here with us today and being part of this journey. I will now hand it over to you for the
Well,
meditation.
Ashwarya, I wanted to ask you a quick question.
Sure.
because you're yeah because you obviously are manifesting a lot. You're manifesting soul frequency this whole festival, and in terms of manifesting, what do you find is like really key to create in this world?
Yeah, I think the most important thing I've learned when it comes to manifestation is detachment. So,
Ah,
yeah, so having your desires, and it does come back to Hindu philosophy as well in and the Bhagavad Gita, where it's like nothing belongs to you, right? What is yours today is someone else's tomorrow. And when we're so hung up on our desires, there's a lot of attachment there, and our ego starts coming into play, and we actually start losing our spiritual connection because it's like, oh, if God loved me or whoever, whatever we believe in, why haven't we got it? And why is, and our ego tends to disrupt the process because of impatience and all of these comparison and all of this stuff. So for me, I just put it out into the universe now, and I just detach and I just focus on my day to day, which is hard,
Wow.
but
Yeah.
that's what my practice is.
Yeah, that's very inspiring. That's very inspiring. And I think it's so true. You feel your heart's intention, you put energy out, and then see how the universe responds. Because a lot of times the universe has a lot better ideas than we do. So I might think, hey, I want to be happy. This is how what I want to be happy. If I can put that out with detachment, the universe comes back with like a tenfold better experience or better plan. And we just listen, and that feedback loop with the very alive conscious universe moves very quickly, and all our pure heart desires can be manifested quickly.
Exactly. And I also find with your four steps, Sujantra, is that the universe operates, as we've discussed on that level, the universe will actually, if you're on a spiritual path, it will hold you to honesty and it will hold you to non-harming. Because when I've manifested things that aren't really the honest expression of my soul, or my heart, the universe will bring me certain scenarios and lessons to make me find
Right.
my honesty,
Yeah.
what I really
Yeah.
want. Yeah.
Which again is a real blessing. It's that feedback loop talking about the flow of the universe. Universe wants us to grow, to manifest higher and higher levels, and taking those experiences like, okay, thanks universe, that's a little like sharp slap in the face, and it's resetting me and keeping me going. And then the detachment and all of it together makes for fast progress.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
fast progress. Okay, good. So then, so right, you're going to turn over to me, and what I'm going to do is guide a little meditation where we hone in on a couple qualities.
Sure, sure. And take 15, 20 minutes, however much time you need to do that. Thank you, Sajjan.
Okay, okay. Nice chatting with you.
You too.
Okay, so now we're going to move into our manifesting. So I mentioned the manifesting element is two dimensions. One is visualization, mantras, that inner conception of what you're looking for. The second is taking action. And the idea is that before you get to the visualization, the mantras, the meditation, that you've really thought through your desires, and you've honed in with honesty and integrity and truthfulness to longings or aspirations, desires that are in that flow. And so for this meditation, what we're going to do the meditation on is the idea or the feeling that the universe is very alive, because I think that's important as you move into manifestation, that you believe that the universe is responding. And then also cultivating a quality that you're going to choose. So as I mentioned in my book, Strategy for Success, it talks a lot about honing the desires, honing the longings down to those which are in the flow state. So assuming you've done that and now are at the point where you want to do some meditation on, and again, I've kind of chosen the two things, which is that the universe is alive and also truthfulness. And so we'll begin, and this will be about a 12-minute experience. We'll begin just sitting up nice and straight, because you want your visualization, your meditation to be a conscious, alert experience. And this first step is what I call energizing. So let's just begin with our hands in prayer position, and your fingertips are touching, and pushing one hand into the other. Can open your jaw, release your jaw a few times. Then let the jaw just relax. So you're keeping that energy of your hands pushing together. Then open the eyes real wide, shut them tight, scrunch your face, purse your lips, open wide, scrunch, then relax. Keep that energy in your hands, feeling the muscles in your chest, shoulders, forearms, hands, energizing. You can let your eyes gently close. Begin to breathe deeply, filling your lungs, releasing on the exhale. Now, in your next inhale, you're going to raise your hands up towards the sky. Mine will go out of the video screen, but they're up there. Palms facing forward, fingers spread wide. Feeling the muscles in your back, becoming energized. And as we do this energization, you're going to start to feel a little bit of fatigue in the body. And as you feel that fatigue, override that awareness with breath awareness. So here we're developing some yogic concentration. Focus in on your breath more than the fatigue. If there's any pain, that's a different thing that you need to respond to, but just a little fatigue, we're going to breathe through it. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come down to cactus arms. Inhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Exhale, bring your forearms towards or to touching. Inhale, go wide. Exhale, up. Now this time we're going to put our hands at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. If you were a clock face, 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, eyes are closed. And just allow yourself to feel big. Make yourself as big as possible. Because when it comes time to taking action on your manifestation, you need courage. We don't want to shrink away from the world. We want to embrace life, feel big and confident, speak your heart's truth, speak your truth to others, share your love wisely. So feel big for a moment. Override fatigue with breath awareness. Now, in your next inhale, bring the hands back to 12 o'clock on the clock face. Touch your fingertips. Exhale, bring it down through heart center. One more big breath in. Exhale, hands to your thighs. Now we're going to move into a little bit of conscious relaxation. By letting go of some body awareness, we can go into this subtle realm for inner manifestation. As you breathe in, become aware of the muscles in your forehead and around your eyes. As you exhale, let those muscles release and relax. Breathing in an awareness of the muscles in your cheeks and jaw. Exhale, letting those muscles release and melt. Breathing in an awareness of the muscles in your chest. Feel your lungs expanding with each inhalation. Maybe feel the rib cage opening a little bit. Exhale, feeling release in your chest. And not just physical release, but emotional. In the interview, we talked about detachment, letting go. Maybe there's some holding in your chest, emotional holding. You can release on your exhalation. Now, in your next exhalation, let your awareness flow down to your navel region of your belly button. Here's where our root of personal power is in the lower three chakras, lower three energy centers. So focusing in on the belly button to begin with. On the inhale, belly goes out. On the exhale, draw your belly button in towards your spine. Inhale, belly button out. Exhale, belly comes in. And on the next exhalation, let your awareness drop to the base of your body, your pelvic floor. This is a part of our body and psyche that we're often not too conscious of. The technique here is going to be as you breathe in, you become aware of the pelvic floor, the base of the body. And on the exhale, just relaxing those muscle groups. There's a variety of muscles there, different muscle groups, different functions. Inhale is awareness. Exhale, overall sense of release, of relaxation, of calmness. Now, on your next inhalation, bring awareness back up into your heart space, the realm of soul frequency. We're coming into our heart space. There's different elements connected to different chakras, different colors. With the heart space, visualize the sky or some element of the sky. It could be the beautiful blue of the sky. It could be treetops, beautiful green treetops. It could be the sun or the moon, the feeling of vastness and lightness. So as you breathe in, visualize in your heart space blue, sun, moon, treetops, vastness. Choose whichever of those you like. Feel that that fills your heart space. And feel that on the exhale, the realm of your navel is very powerful and strong because that's where your earth manifestation is going to come from. So on your inhale, you're breathing in, you're filling your heart space. On your exhale, you're feeling the power of your core. Do this a few times. Good. Now we're going to do a little bit of yogic concentration to prepare us for our journey, final preparation for our journey. And we're going to use our eyes. So your eyelids are closed, keeping your head still, moving just your eyeballs, looking up, down, over to the left, over to the right, back to center. Now, consciously holding your eyes still, consciously gaze into the back of your eyelids. So you're looking into that darkness. Maybe you just see darkness. Maybe there's colors or shapes. The key thing is just keep your eyes still and keep consciousness, awareness in your eyes. You'll notice when you get pulled away by thoughts, when that happens, just come back to your eyes. Breathe deeply and slowly, awareness in your eyes. Now we're going to do the same thing with sound. There's no music playing, but the sound, create a slight contraction in the back of your throat as if you were fogging a mirror. So create a slight sound as you breathe and focus in on that. Hold your ears on that sound. Good. Bring your awareness back to your eyes. And now we'll move into our specific technique for our soul manifestation. We're going to begin with becoming conscious that the universe is alive. Begin by becoming aware of your chest again. Hold your eyes still, gazing slightly downward. And begin by simply watching your body breathe. Earlier, we were controlling our breathing, deep controlled inhalations and exhalations. Now, simply watch your body breathe. The breaths might be shallow and short. Your body's going to reset itself. Let it do it and just watch. Feel your heart beating. Your ego is not causing your heartbeat. Your transitory thoughts are not causing your heartbeat. There's something deeper. Be aware of your heartbeat and trust, feel that energy that enlivens your heart and your breath. Now be aware that your body is sustained from food you eat that comes from the environment, that your body is sustained by breath, by the air you breathe from the environment, that your existence is intertwined with the physical and spiritual world. But right now, focus in on the physical. The air you breathe, the food you eat is what creates you. It's not your ego. It's not your mundane thoughts. There's a deeper energy. Feel that, watch it. And finally, bring into your awareness a time when you have been very happy. Maybe it was last week at the park. You're with friends, you're laughing, having fun, you're very happy. Or when you got a certain material possession, when you bought a car, when you met a new friend. Bring that memory into your mind, not pleasure. We're not doing a pleasure visualization. Happy, happy. Your heart is open and happy. And take a moment to realize that the happiness didn't come from something else and go into you. The happiness came from within yourself, came from a deep dimension. Happiness doesn't come out of material possessions. We open to happiness when we have certain things. Feel that reality. Now, bring into yourself the overall feeling and awareness that the universe is alive. You're alive because the universe is alive. You're happy because there's happiness as part of reality. And feel and believe that if you concentrate, if you focus on desires, on aspirations that are in flow of life, they will manifest because life is growth and manifestation. Focus on that for a moment. feeling that the universe is alive and you're part of a living system that will respond to your thoughts, to your intentions, to your visualizations, like a beautiful flowing river that you're part of. Hold to this feeling for the last minute. Whenever you come out of meditation, you want to slowly and gradually bring your awareness back to your physical body, your surroundings, but hold on to this inner awareness, in this case, the feeling of being part of a living, vibrant world and manifestation. So in this meditation, we didn't get all the way to visualizing specific desires or aspirations, but what we did do is set the foundation. So this meditation is the foundation meditation for knowing, feeling, and believing that the universe is alive and will respond to your clear intentions. And so on the YouTube channel and in my book, Strategy for Success, you'll get all kinds of meditations for different qualities to cultivate. And again, cultivating truthfulness with yourself, with others, cultivating non-harming are going to set a really good foundation for you to get clear on your heart's desires, and then using the meditations on the YouTube channel to hone in on those qualities or pursuits. So want to thank everyone in the soul frequency. Really a joy to talk with Aishwarya. Thank you very much, everyone. And you can always rewatch this to reconnect with that feeling that we are a part of a living, vibrant system. Namaste.